Happy Tuesday! It is the 24th day of November 2020. This is Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I'm Dan Kuntz, your host. Thanks for starting your day with us. We appreciate it. Good to see you. Cloudy, foggy, 35 degrees outside of our studios. Didn't get very warm yesterday. Only hit 38, which is actually about normal. A little bit of rain tonight, overnight tonight into early Wednesday. Then we dry out. We'll have some sun breaks on Wednesday. Thanksgiving Day proper. Gobble, 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 gobble. Looks pretty darn good, as does the weekend. All things considered. And don't forget this Saturday at 10 o'clock, that's right, me, will be broadcasting live at Hooked on Toys on North Wenatchee Avenue for the official kickoff of the Schwab Community Toy Drive. They had a kind of a soft kickoff over the weekend, which went remarkably well. And to talk about the Schwab Community Toy Drive, we're going to have Kirk Moser on this program. In the back half of the program, he's the regional manager for the local Schwab stores in North Central Washington. He and his wife, Nikki, are big supporters of the Schwab Community Toy Drive, so we're going to put you in that mood to make sure all the kids who live in the North Central Washington area have gifts under the tree come Christmas. It's something we're proud to be a part of here at the NCW Life Channel. So Kirk Moser will be with me in the back half of the program. There is a lot of news to get to, some of it COVID related, some of it not. Also, sports, we continue to talk about the Seahawks and their impressive victory over the Cardinals last Thursday night, getting ready to take on the Eagles on Monday Night Football, but they lost their hold on first place in the NFC West after the Rams won last night. We'll talk Seahawks when we get to sports in a little bit. Plus, we'll have the obscure holiday. Mike McNally's got an opinion, some celebrity birthdays, and today in history, 2 minutes after the hour. I don't know what kind of cameras we're going to have available to us on this cloudy and foggy Tuesday, and they're going to be quite widespread, the clouds and the fog. Everybody's going to be dealing with throughout the course of the day today, but the clouds will be rising up. The temperatures will be warming up a few degrees as opposed to yesterday, and then there's an approaching cold front that's going to bring some snow to the Cascades, so things look a little dicey travel-wise later on this afternoon into Wednesday morning. They're expecting some pretty good snow up in the Cascades. That's a storm system that is in the forecast. Kind of slowed down a little bit, so it's going to take a sweet time getting here, but it's coming. Good morning, Wenatchee Valley, from our cross camera, located adjacent to the cross at the end of Wenatchee Heights, at the very tip of Wenatchee Heights. We're still a ways from sunrise. In fact, we're now under that 9-hour mark, 8 hours and 57 minutes of daylight here on this 24th day of November, with sunrise at 7:19 and sunset at 4:16. Let's see what Megan has in store for us. Let's see how my guessing is. I was terrible yesterday. Rude Canyon. Bingo. All right. I'm 1 for 1. Rude Canyon. Good to see you. They got some snow up there. Of course, Rude Canyon elevation is about 2,900 feet, maybe close to 3,000 feet above sea level. Rude Canyon up near the Waterville area. Beautiful view and a beautiful area to live in, but you have to have that mentality to live in that kind of area, because if you're making you're cooking a nice dish in your kitchen and, oh, gee, honey, we need some butter, we're out. It's a pretty long drive to the grocery store from Rude Canyon, but it's a beautiful area, and the people who live up there are really cool. I've met a number of them. They're neat. I'm jealous of them in many respects. Camera number 3. Hello, Lake Chelan. I want to say Lower Butte. Lower Butte camera. We have 2 cameras on the Chelan Butte, one at the very top, which is about 3,800 feet above sea level, and one a little bit closer to Chelan and a little bit lower at about the 2,700 foot level. And that is the Lower Butte camera. You can see the 3 fingers, the marina and Chelan proper on this cloudy and cool Tuesday morning. Hi, Chelan. It's good to see you. And of course, lake is starting to draw down a little bit from this time of the year. That's part and parcel. Camera number 4, and see if I can go 3 for 3. That's a no-brainer. Of course, that is Dover, Delaware. No, wait a minute. That's the Omi Gardens camera, pointed directly to the south as we're looking over to the cross camera, as a matter of fact. And these 2 cameras, the cross camera and the Omi Gardens camera, are about at the same height. They just point in the exact opposite directions. It's like a 180, so we can see the Stimmill Complex directly below the camera, the Otobashian Bridge, the East Wenatchee Bench to your left, and of course beautiful Wenatchee to your right. A spectacular view, and I'm still bummed. You think I'd get over it by now, but I'm still bummed that Omi Gardens never got a chance to open. in 2020, a year that we will not forget. It's been a strange year in a lot of respects, and not just COVID, really. Got one slide to show for you. Snow totals for tonight and Wednesday. As you can see, for the vast swath of our viewing area, no snow accumulations really at all. The snow level is going to drop down. It's going to drop down to about 1,600 feet after midnight tonight, but by the time it drops down, the storm system that's coming our way is going to kind of peter itself out. So we're looking pretty good. We're going to have rain here in the Wenatchee Valley, but look at that band right along the passes. There you go. Passes are going to get a pretty good dose of snow, and as you can see, the Idaho Panhandle, 4th of July pass, if you're heading off to Montana for Thanksgiving, you're going to deal with some driving conditions as well. Stevens is going to get the brunt of this snow, not so much on I-90. And again, the snow is expected basically from 4 o'clock this afternoon to 10 o'clock Wednesday up in the mountain passes, but we're looking fairly high and fairly dry. Okay, from the National Weather Service, here is your forecast in detail. And as I mentioned, the snow levels are going to drop later on today, but by the time it does, you can forget about any kind of snow down here. Snow level right now is at 2,800 feet. We are going to see some rain. It will be late in the afternoon into the early evening hours. Anyway, from a tenth to a half an inch possible. Depends on how fast the system comes through. So again, the rain in the forecast today, likely after 4 o'clock this afternoon, and then it should be done by about 10 o'clock. So we have about a 5 to 6 hour window from 4 o'clock to about 10 o'clock today where we're going to see some rain. And then the snow level goes from 2,700 feet tonight to 1,600 feet, but the storm system would have kind of gotten unenergized, so we're not looking at any kind of snow here on the valley. 433 for the overnight low. You're going to wake up, we're all going to wake up to some sunshine, I hope, tomorrow. Partly sunny, partly cloudy. Whether you're an optimist or a pessimist is entirely up to you. 44 for the high on Wednesday. 30 for the overnight low. Gobble, gobble, gobble Thursday. Looking good. Sunshine, 47. So if you'd like to eat your Thanksgiving meal, say early afternoon, 2 or 2:30 or 3, you're going to have enough time to get out in the daylight and walk off all the food that you just scarfed down. 30 for the overnight low on Thursday. Let's go to the weekend. Friday, partly cloudy and a high of 44. No precipitation at all. Saturday looking great. Sunshine, 46. Mixture of clouds and sun Sunday and a high of 42. We'll top off at 43 with the next storm system coming in on Monday. So precipitation late today into the early evening hours. And that is about it as far as something coming down out of the sky. And we'll have some sunshine and warmer conditions. I'd like that. Let's go to the passes at 8 minutes after the hour. Now's a good time to go before the snow comes. Live shot of Snoqualmie. We always do the big three. Snoqualmie, Blewett, and Stevens. No advisories, no restrictions. Roadway is bare and wet. Clear skies up above. Quite a bit of traffic, we're told, on I-90 this morning as people start making their Thanksgiving travel plans, whether they're supposed to or not. I'm not going to get into that. Stevens Pass has a traction tire advisory, although I'm seeing a lot of asphalt. Nothing coming down. It is not raining. It is snowing. You'll find some snow and slush on the roadway, but again, traction tires are advised anyway on Stevens Pass. That's the State Patrol's department, and they do it well. Blewett Pass, clear skies up above. Everyone's in love. You're good to go. There is a winter weather advisory, though. It starts at 4 o'clock this afternoon until 10 o'clock Wednesday morning. Snow level is going to be right around 3,000 feet. So you're going to be dealing with a little bit of snow on Blewett Pass, which is above 4,000 feet. But Snoqualmie, which is right at that 3,000 foot mark, just a little bit of light snow. The brunt of the snow that's coming will be in the Stevens Pass area anyway from 6 to 13 inches from 4 o'clock this afternoon until 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. Most of the snow will be coming down tonight into early Wednesday, just like the rain we're expecting here, which is tonight into early Wednesday. Same deal, snow tonight into early Wednesday. Most of the day today, if you're traveling in the Cascades, you're going to be all right. The snow's really not going to come until tonight and on into Wednesday, and then nothing really to worry about Wednesday or Thursday in the Cascades. All right, 9 minutes after the hour, going to take a break and come back with your Tuesday morning news. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel.
Bring the whole family up to Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house in historic downtown Chelan. Applewood smoked brisket, street-style tacos, and our award-winning barbecue rubs and sauces. Our meals pair perfectly with our exciting lineup of craft ales, made right here in Chelan. We've got room for big groups, or give us a call for catering. So grab the kids and check out the fun at Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house located in the heart of Chelan.
Mary Maids of Wenatchee believes a clean home is a happy home. Mary Maids provides holiday cleaning services to cheer about. Don't let the seasonal cleaning ruin the festive fun. Mary Maids can simplify your life at a great value. It's never too soon to start planning a holiday perfect home. Mary Maids of Wenatchee happily offers a worry-free guarantee. Locally owned and operated, let Mary Maids do the cleaning while you focus on your family and friends. Call Mary Maids today.
11 minutes after the hour, we have 35 degrees, overcast conditions outside of our studios. Lower 40s today, lots of clouds, lots of fog, and some rain expected late this afternoon into the early evening hours, and then quite pleasant starting Wednesday. Here are your headlines. Grand County health officials called in an isolation and quarantine strike team after 9 COVID-19 deaths were linked to a Soap Lake senior care and rehab facility. It is one of at least 3 major coronavirus outbreaks reported at senior homes in Grand County. The Grand County Health District said Friday it has confirmed the deaths of 5 residents at the McKay Healthcare and Rehab Center. 4 additional deaths are pending. The strike team from the State Department of Health has been on site at McKay to help prevent further spread of the virus. Now, in addition, the health district says Lake Ridge Center in Moses Lake, which houses Alzheimer's and dementia patients, has had 49 residents and 12 staff members test positive for the virus. Columbia Crest Care Facility, also in Moses Lake, 25 residents and 22 staff members have tested positive. 1 resident is hospitalized. The confirmed deaths at McKay: a woman in her 60s, 2 women in their 80s, a woman in her 90s, and a man in his 80s. We now know the identity of the young man who was killed Saturday morning in that wreck on the Malaga-Alcoa Highway. Chelan County Coroner Wayne Harris says Ignacio Molarino Mendoza, 26 years old, of Wenatchee, died after his car crossed the center line near the Apple Yard about 6:45 in the morning on Saturday. Chelan County Sheriff's deputies say Mendoza was driving a Subaru Impreza northbound when he struck a southbound Subaru Legacy, went into a spin, and collided with a 3rd southbound vehicle. A 4th car had a minor impact while trying to avoid the wreck. 1 other driver received non-fatal injuries and was taken to Central Washington Hospital for treatment. The wreck remains under investigation by both the Chelan County Sheriff's Office and the Washington State Patrol. A 13-year-old boy was arrested for allegedly pulling a knife and threatening an 11-year-old boy. This happened Sunday afternoon at Eastmont Community Park in East Wenatchee. East Wenatchee police say the incident started when the 13-year-old was sitting on the park's pump track, blocking the path of kids using the track. After being asked to move, there was an argument between the 13-year-old and an 11-year-old, during which the older boy pulled out a knife, held it out towards the victim, and walked towards him. This is all according to East Wenatchee police. In fact, they say witness accounts of the incident were confirmed by a video taken at the park, and the 13-year-old was arrested for second-degree assault and taken to the Chelan County Juvenile Detention Center. Grand County Sheriff's detectives are still piecing together a shooting outside Moses Lake on Saturday afternoon that seriously injured a man. The Sheriff's Office said shortly after receiving 911 reports of a vehicle being shot at several times in the Stratford Road area, a man showed up at Samaritan Hospital with a gunshot wound. He subsequently was airlifted to a hospital outside of the area. Sheriff's Department Public Information Officer Kyle Foreman said the victim has not yet been identified. Detectives are still trying to figure out exactly the details on that shooting. A pickup pulling a trailer lost a load of wood, some of which then struck a car Monday afternoon on Highway 28 at the Trinidad Hill. The occupant of the car suffered minor injuries. This is according to the Washington State Patrol. Trooper John Bryant said it's a timely reminder to secure your load before driving anywhere. Traffic on Highway 28 was slow just after noon in the area west of Quincy, but the highway did not need to be closed. A Chelan County decision to rezone a large orchard area for a proposed subdivision did not comply with the Growth Management Act. That's the determination of the Washington Growth Management Board, which was handed down on Thursday. The property is 63 acres between Leavenworth and Peshastin, dubbed Riverstone Ranch, which the county last spring recategorized as rural residential, and that would have allowed developers to build new homes there with 2.5-acre lot sizes along the Wenatchee River. The City of Leavenworth and the Friends of Leavenworth Advocacy Group asked the state board to review the decision, and that board invalidated Chelan County's action, saying it did not adhere to the GMA or the county's own growth management plan. Chelan County has 10 days to ask the board to reconsider its decision. Wenatchee's newest grocery store expected to open on February 1st. A Winco corporate representative said Monday that construction work on the former Shopco building on North Wenatchee Avenue is on track to be completed come December, meaning the company can then begin equipping the store. The Boise-based company is currently in the process of hiring employees, by the way, with application materials available at careers.wincofoods.com. Winco is an employee-owned warehouse-type grocery store. The Wenatchee store, 89,500 square feet. The company has spent about $6 million converting the former Shopco building. And Washington Senator Maria Cantwell is pushing a bill to update the country's approach to prescribed burning and to modernize its hiring practices. The National Prescribed Fire Act would expand the use of prescribed burns to prevent larger wildfires on federal lands, and in addition, it would help former convicts who serve on fire crews to find careers at the Bureau of Land Management and the Forest Service, and also expand training and leadership opportunities for women in firefighting. Senator Cantwell spoke with agency heads about the proposed bill in a Senate hearing on Wednesday.
I'm also interested in the role that women are playing in our forests and the women in fire aspect of that legislation 4625. So I wonder, Mr. French, if you could address both that issue.
It is a particular focus of ours as an agency right now to create a work environment that not only recruits and retains a more diversified space for folks, including in our fire organization, but especially a place that is, again, we can recruit but retain. It's welcoming and valuing women in the fireplace. We recognize the history we've had in this, and we have taken many proactive and deliberate and concrete steps under the leadership of Chief Christensen to change that vector. And I'm quite proud of the approach the agency has been taking.
The prescribed fire legislation does take another step forward by encouraging the recruitment and retention of women in fire, which I think is great. Some of the changes that are also being proposed in terms of shifting seasonal fire employees to permanent fire employees is also very helpful to many women in fire who do want a career in fire, but also have other responsibilities in terms of caring for the home.
The Senate adjourned last week, by the way, without taking any action on the bill. And that's a look at what's making headlines on this Tuesday morning. Grant is back. That's double good news, because that means Jefferson can take a little bit of a break. He's been working really hard over the last few days, and I don't have to do the weather on the news at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock. And to preview tonight's newscast, here's Jefferson Robbins.
Good morning, Dan. I know you're tired of seeing me in this chair, and so our good friend Grant Olson will be back tonight with the NCW Life Evening News. He's also a much more proficient meteorologist than you or I, so you can expect a reliable weather report after too many days without. All that plus sports tonight at 5, 6, and 10. Tune in then, and while you're out and about today, don't forget your mask. Back to you, Dan.
Thanks, Jefferson. And boy, are you right about weather. I have a newfound respect for Grant's weather delivery capabilities, having had to do it and discovering I'm not very good at it. You want to reach out to us and say hi, look at the bottom of your screen. You can use our Facebook page and the message app and give us one of those big babies while you're there. You can email us directly, news@ncwlife.com, or you can go to our website, ncwlife.com, and click on the Contact Us icon. 20 minutes after the hour, sports, the obscure holiday, today in history, some celebrity birthdays. Everybody's entitled to Mike McNaughty's opinion. And my conversation with Kirk Moser as we're getting ready to open up the 4th annual Les Schwab Community Toy Drive this Saturday at Hooked on Toys. It's all coming up. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
My name is Lacey Haggerty, and I'm a nurse midwife with Columbia Valley Community Health. I love all aspects of my job because it is a profession that's very committed to empowering women to make decisions in their health care that feel best for them. It's incredibly valuable to me as a midwife that I get to take care of women throughout their whole lifespan. I hope to see you at a future visit because I know you'll love having midwifery care.
Downtown Manson is Washington's best-kept wine secret. Over a dozen tasting rooms are within walking distance. Experience Ancestry Cellars, featuring wines rooted in family traditions. Or Skagit Cellars, where East meets West in every vintage. And don't miss Rio Vista Wines, home of the original wine slushie. All three are kid-friendly. Isn't it time you had a taste of Manson?
And we're back at it with sports at 21 minutes after the hour. Carlos Dunlap was acquired from the Bengals a few weeks back to help shore up the defensive pass rush for the Seahawks, which was rated dead last in the NFL. Well, after learning the system, Dunlap's skills were on full display Thursday night in the Seahawks' big victory over the Cardinals. Russell Wilson is glad that Dunlap is hitting the opposing quarterbacks and not him.
Carlos Dunlap spent his entire 11 years with the Cincinnati Bengals. Now he's been with you guys for just a few weeks, and he says he's here to write a new chapter. So far, what has he been writing, and what do you expect the story to play out like after watching him tonight?
Well, first of all, I think you got to give credit to John Schneider and Pete to get a guy like Carlos Dunlap. He's such a superstar. He's this guy who can really help us. You know, you need those kind of players, especially in our division, the kind of guys. And him coming off the edge is a huge factor. I know he sacked me a few times and hit me pretty hard a few times in the past. But, you know, just to have a great guy, great teammate. He's been awesome in the locker room. He's obviously been tremendous on the field. You know, he's such a huge factor to the game, and he causes, you know, havoc. And to obviously 4th and 10, you know, for him to, you know, make a huge sack, you know, in that situation was an unbelievable play. It won the game for us right there in that moment. And just to have, he's a winner by nature. Maybe he hasn't won in the past as much, but he's a true winner by nature. And just we love it about him. He's a great team player. He's got everything that you want. You know, obviously the ability, but also the character and the focus and the just how much he loves the game. You know, he's smiling from ear to ear, and hopefully we can keep the winning going.
The Seahawks outgained the Cardinals on the ground, 165 yards to just 57 for the Cardinals, and Carlos Hyde did the heavy lifting for the Seahawks. He carried the ball 14 times for 79 yards, scored a touchdown. Russell Wilson says Hyde's running style suits the Seahawks well.
Russell, how much better does Carlos Hyde's running style, just who he is, the way he attacks holes, how much better does he make your offense?
Well, Carlos is a great runner. I mean, he had a tremendous job today. We knew we wanted to be physical with these guys, you know, when we did run it, and he was physical as could be. I mean, he had so many great runs, so many great plays. He was special today, you know, and he's been great for us, you know, when he's been in there. And so, you know, I love the type of runner he is, the type of person he is too. And you know, he's a guy who's rushed for over 1,000 yards, done some amazing things in this league. You know, a great vet. That's really helped us out, and he was terrific today. And then guys like DJ Dallas have been great for us too. You know, he made a couple key plays for us today, some third downs and different things. And so, just really excited about how the running backs played today. They did some great things in the passing game and obviously the running game.
Yesterday, the Seahawks placed tight end Greg Olsen on the injured reserve list, and they activated Damon Snacks Harrison off the practice squad. Olsen suffered a plantar fascia foot injury late in the victory Thursday over Arizona. Olsen could miss the rest of the regular season. He signed a one-year deal in February worth $7 million, with $5.5 million of that guaranteed. By the way, the Seahawks have three other tight ends on the roster: Will Dissly, Jacob Hollister, and the rookie Colby Parkinson. And the Seahawks also announced Monday that they will play their next 2 home games, December 6th against the Giants and December 13th against the Jets, without spectators because of the COVID-19 pandemic. The Seahawks continue to prepare for their next game. That will be Monday in Philadelphia. By the way, the Rams knocked off the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 27-24 last night. So the Rams regained first place in the NFC West because the Rams own the tiebreaker as of now. The Hawks host the Rams, by the way, on December 27th, which could very well mean who's going to win the NFC West. And by the way, we still don't know who the Huskies may be playing this Thanksgiving weekend. We might have more on that with sports later on this afternoon. We do know, of course, they won't be playing the Cougars. And those are just some of the games that people are playing at 25 minutes after the hour. I try to avoid food-related obscure holidays as much as I possibly can, but all the research I did came up with the same holiday. Today is National Sardines Day. And I went through a period in my youth, when I was 12, 13, something along those lines, that I really liked sardines. I was happy I could get the darn can open. Most people have either heard of sardines. The first thing you think of sardines is they're gross, ugh. The research that I did, the people who don't like sardines have actually never even possibly tried sardines. Sardines are loaded with vitamin B12 and omega fatty acids, so they're really good. So if you turn up your nose because you don't like sardines, you may be avoiding something that might be good for you. And it is an acquired taste, but they're pretty good. They were. I went through that period, and I can't remember the last time I had a sardine, except in Worcestershire sauce. If you like Worcestershire sauce, sardines are like one of the primary ingredients. Sardines got their name from the Mediterranean island, not surprising, Sardinia. And it was a huge moneymaker for the fishermen back there. They discovered 3 things. There's a lot of good things in the fish, as I just mentioned. They're very easy to catch, which made them very easy to package because they're so small and ship. And it became a very important trade item in the Mediterranean region for centuries because they lasted so long. Yeah, it's Worcestershire sauce. Next time you put Worcestershire sauce in something, you're putting sardines on it. So have yourself overcome your fear of the sardine and have yourself one. They're either pickled or packed in oil. Comes in tins, sometimes mustard. Sardines. But not for breakfast. And by the way, you won't be kissing anybody after you eat a few sardines unless you brush your teeth and use some mouthwash, and brush your teeth and use some mouthwash again. 28 minutes after the hour today in history. November 24th, 1917, 103 years ago today, a large bomb was wrapped as a package. I didn't know what was in the package, it was just a package. It was discovered by Maud Richter, who was a social worker. She discovered it at a church in Milwaukee's 3rd Ward. She picked up the package, she dragged it down into the church basement. She called the church janitor, Sam Mazzoni. Sam Mazzoni said, I don't know what this is, let's take it to the police. So Sam Mazzoni took the bomb, didn't know it was a bomb, it was just a package, just a big old package. He took it to the Central Police Station at the corner of Oneonta and Broadway in downtown Milwaukee, gave it to the Milwaukee Police Department. The station keeper was showing it to the shift commander. There were a lot of police officers in the room because there was a shift going on, and it went off. Bomb exploded. 9 members of the Milwaukee Police Department were killed, and 1 female civilian. The most deaths in a single event in U.S. police history until September 11th of 2001 happened in Milwaukee on this date 103 years ago. November 24th, 1963, 57 years ago today, Lee Harvey Oswald, the accused assassin of President John Fitzgerald Kennedy, killed by Jack Ruby on live network television. A stunning, stunning event. You've seen the footage. Here it is again.
There is Lee Oswald. He's been shot. He's been shot. Lee Oswald has been shot. There's the man with a gun. It's absolute panic here in the basement of Dallas Police Headquarters. Detectives have their guns drawn. Oswald has been shot. There is There's no question about it. Oswald has been shot.
Imagine watching that on live television on the morning of Sunday, November 24th, 1963. Oswald was rushed to Parkland Memorial Hospital, ironically enough, the same hospital where JFK died 2 days before. He never regained consciousness, died a couple of hours later. Jack Ruby, charged with murder, died before he ever went to trial. And 49 years ago today, there's the man, D.B. Cooper. During a severe thunderstorm over the Pacific Northwest, over Washington State, a hijacker who called himself Dan Cooper, he became D.B. Cooper by a simple mistake by the media, parachutes from a Northwest Orient Airlines plane with about $200,000 in ransom money from the CBS Evening News.
36 passengers got off the jetliner in Seattle last night, left aboard 4 crew members and the hijacker, dressed in a business suit demanding $200,000 and carrying a plain briefcase which he told the crew held explosives. With the full ransom collected from Seattle banks and 4 parachutes aboard, the plane headed for Reno. It took 3.5 hours, slow for a jet, but the hijacker had given detailed flight instructions. The rear stairwell was open all the way. It arrived at Reno in shreds. The crew, here being debriefed by the FBI, was told to fly low over Oregon's flatlands with the flaps down. The speed dropped to 200 miles per hour. Somewhere, the hijacker parachuted away with the money. The crew had little to say.
We gave the information to the authorities, and we just don't want to discuss it any further.
Have you been told by the FBI not to discuss?
No, they handle their investigation, and my company would rather have it released through them.
Tina, were you with the rest of the crew during the flight after you left the ground the last time?
Yes, I went up to the cockpit.
None of you were within sight of the hijacker, right?
Right. We already talked about it, and the captain, still did.
How did you surmise that he was not on the plane when he landed in Reno?
Well, a search was made of the plane immediately after landing.
As we understood it, he could have gotten off as the plane taxied before it came up here. How did the crew know he wasn't on when it touched ground?
No way. The crew couldn't know that, but we had the airport covered.
Are the authorities now searching for the man?
Snow covers the mountains in northern California and Nevada, a hostile terrain for any parachute drop, especially at night. Police believe he left the 727 in the flatlands of Oregon or Washington, but they are still looking in 4 states, even around the airport. Authorities began their search here, thinking the hijacker may have jumped off at the end of the runway as the plane touched down. But the problem is more complex. A daring parachute escape from a flying 727 somewhere between Reno and Seattle, Washington.
That, of course, was the initial report. We would later learn that he actually jumped out of the airplane somewhere in the heavily forested areas of southwestern Washington state. D.B. Cooper, of course, was never found, has never been found. There are all kinds of theories out there. The FBI, in its original investigation, interviewed over 800 people, narrowed it down to about a dozen or so suspects. They were all cleared. Keep in mind, I personally think D.B. Cooper died on the parachute drop. I mean, that's what I think. I think either he didn't pull the ripcord in time or did and crashed into trees and whatever, and the animals had their way. Keep in mind, if in fact D.B. Cooper survived the jump, they figured he was in his mid-40s. That would make him close to 100 years old today. So one way or the other, whether he got away with it or not, the man known forever as D.B. Cooper has almost certainly exited his earthly vessel by now. Birthdays. All of our birthdays are gentlemen who have exited their earthly vessel, and that includes President Zachary Taylor. We always do presidents. He was the 12th president of the United States. More forgettable than a failure. He didn't really have a chance to do anything as president because he was only president for 16 months before he died. He was a national war hero. If you're a national war hero, it really increases your chances of being elected president. He was a national hero during the Mexican-American War, and so he won election to the White House even though nobody really knew his political beliefs. He didn't have to have any political beliefs. He just had to be a war hero. He was the last president elected who was neither a Republican nor a Democrat. He was the last Whig to be elected president. He was the first president ever to be elected without ever having to serve in prior political office. The only election he ever voted in, as a matter of fact, was the presidential election of 1848. He served only 16 months, and in June of 1991, amid rumors that he had been poisoned, when he died, one of his last surviving relatives allowed his body to be exhumed. They tested his body. No poisons were found. Zachary Taylor, born in the state in 1784. Again, more forgettable than failed as a president, but we always do presidents. Tommy Allsup, the great Tommy Allsup, born in the state in 1931. We lost Tommy a couple of years ago at the age of 85. Tommy Allsup is the one who lost the coin flip to Richie Valens and gave up his seat on the Bonanza airplane on the morning of February 3rd, 1959. The fates. He called heads. It came up tails. Richie Valens got to fly in the plane. Tommy Allsup got back on the bus. Mr. Allsop's family originally thought that he had died in the plane crash that killed Buddy Holly, the Big Bopper, Richie Valens, and the pilot Roger Peterson. In fact, he gave Buddy Holly his wallet before they left the Surf Ballroom because he had some mail waiting for him in Fargo, which is where the plane was supposed to fly. So he gave Buddy his wallet so Buddy could pick up his mail. When the plane went down, they found 4 bodies and 5 wallets, and they thought that Tommy Allsup was in fact dead. He wasn't. He lived for a very long life. Tommy Allsup, and a great guitarist, I might add. Born in the state of 1931. Speaking of a great guitarist, in this case, the bass guitar, Donald Duck Dunn, the bass player, songwriter, and producer. Longtime association with Booker T of the MGs. He played with everybody. Elvis, Bob Dylan, you name it. He played bass on their record. He's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. We lost Duck Dunn at the age of 78 years ago. Those are your birthdays. Mike McNally's got an opinion. Happy birthday, Pops. I almost forgot. Happy birthday, Pops. Mike McNally's got an opinion. Then my conversation with Kirk Moser. It's time to talk about the Les Schwab Community Toy Drive. It's back, and it's coming up. You're watching Wake Up in Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel.
Hi, I'm Kevin Prosser, and this is my print shop, Color Effects in Cashmere. Color Effects offers screen printing, embroidery, and digital printing on t-shirts, jerseys, bags, banners, signs, and more. With 30 years experience, you won't be disappointed with the quality and quick turnaround times you will get at more than a fair price. Please call Color FX.
When you think of Doghouse Motorsports, you might think of motorcycles, but there's a lot more in this house. How about Honda power equipment? From snowblowers to lawnmowers to generators and even water pumps, Honda is the brand that sets the standards. Perhaps you need an ATV or UTV. The Doghouse has the largest selection anywhere. Did we mention watercraft and snowmobiles? And of course, we have motorcycles too. Back it up with terrific customer service and you have Wenatchee's best motorsports store 5 years running. Isn't it time for you to be in the Doghouse?
This is Mike Mad Dog McNally, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, I recently read a book about Johns, the guys who patronize prostitutes. The gist of this book is that prostitution is not an honorable profession, something I agree with, yeah. And that the way to address this issue is to stop prosecuting and persecuting the women themselves who engage in this business, but to change the focus and prosecute the men who engage in this activity. Now, I agree. One of the common denominators of these guys is they're unwilling, for whatever reason, to do the work of forming and maintaining a relationship because deep down they believe women are just there for sex. This attitude has created a massive, overwhelming problem with human trafficking and child exploitation in our society, not just in our country, but throughout the world. Now, it's time to change our focus, folks, and target the men who create the demand for this type of behavior. This is Mike Mad Dog McNally, and that's my opinion.
You don't have to be a member to enjoy the view and dine in style at Highlander Bar and Grill in East Wenatchee. Highlander Grill offers breakfast, lunch, and dinner with dine-in or takeout options. Highlander Grill's friendly staff is here to serve you 7 days a week this winter. Contact Shalane, Highlander Girls Site Coordinator, to schedule your corporate event or special occasion.
Arctic Refrigeration and Heating has been serving North Central Washington for 34 years. Arctic provides the finest heating and cooling air quality products for residential and commercial customers, along with prompt and professional customer service. Arctic also offers specialty services like custom sheet metal fabrication of ductwork, coil cleaning, as well as planned fall and spring maintenance for the overall well-being of your system. Arctic is available for emergency calls 24/7. Call Arctic Refrigeration and Heating for your heating and cooling needs.
At Harvest Valley Pest Control, we know you are committed to making your home and business a healthy and pest-free place. Hi, I'm David. Give us a call and we'll give you a firm price over the phone and schedule a time that works for you. We will do an in-depth 30-point healthy home or business inspection and craft a customized plan of action designed specifically for your pest issue. Give us a call or visit our website today.
Welcome back to Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I am Dan Kuntz. It is back for the, I don't know how many years we've been doing the Les Schwab Community Toy Drive. Kirk is going to have to fill in the blanks on that. Kirk Moser is the regional manager for all the local Les Schwab tire stores in his area, Wenatchee, East Wenatchee, and places beyond in North Central Washington. Kirk Moser is the point guy for the Les Schwab Community Toy Drive. First of all, welcome to the show. And second of all,
thank you.
Fourth year?
Yeah, we started in 2017 was our first year.
Okay.
So this is going to be our fourth year.
And the cool thing about Les Schwab is you guys could have, your company could have just slapped your name on it and walked away. Yeah, we're in it, whatever. But that is certainly not the case. You guys, your employees, you're there at every one of these community drive events.
Yeah.
I saw you guys on Saturday out in front of Hooked on Toys. Kudos to Les Schwab. You don't have to do it. It's easier to say no than yes, but you said yes.
Yeah, we said yes. You know, it's something that's near and dear to our company values as well. You know, we advertise doing the right thing matters, and we got to live that. You know, one of the things that with the Les Schwab Community Toy Drive that I think is really important is it's the Les Schwab Community Toy Drive, but it's the community toy drive. You know, it really takes care of the children in our community.
So let's go back to 2017.
Yeah.
Bunch of folks got together and said, let's take a run at it. You know, because you hear about Toys for Tots with the Marine Corps, and there are other organizations that want to make sure that kids have toys under their trees, because every kid should have a toy or 2 or 9 under their tree on Christmas. How did this whole thing, the genesis of the Les Schwab Community Toy Drive?
Yeah, you know, it was, so in 2015 and 2016, we worked with Brent Rhodes, and we did a sponsor of the Bruce House. We provide Christmas gifts there, and we wanted more. I kind of told Brent what I thought we could do, and Brent said, oh no, I'm scared. And so, you know, we were expecting about 200 kids our first year. We ended up with 550, I think. And so it's just taken off from there, and it's grown. You know, we've been very, very fortunate to have partners like NCW Life. You know, we have our workshop across the street that you guys are generous enough to provide, as well as covering us and sponsoring us in a lot of different ways. But we got a lot of community members on board with us. We created a nonprofit organization, and we've continued to grow it. You know, last year we were fortunate enough to have, we did just over 1,200 kids last year. So it's definitely growing.
It's definitely grown, and hopefully this year will be bigger than better than ever. There's certain challenges to this year's, and we'll get to that in just a little bit.
Yeah.
You mentioned the sponsors, and I'm looking at all the businesses who have paid it forward. These are all companies and organizations that are well known to do that. You mentioned KKRV, our good friend Brent Rhodes at Country 1047. Works, always on board. The Sangster family, always on board. Of course, Hooked on Toys, can't do it without them. Cashmere Valley Bank, Wenatchee Valley Medical Group, it goes on and on. Walmart, Dutch Bros, Wenatchee Wild, the WVSO, they're doing the Sign the Deal. You can go online and buy an autographed door from one of our local automobile racers. Valley Tractor, these are all the businesses that we associate with helping people in the Wenatchee Valley. They're all synonymous with this.
Absolutely. Highlander Golf Course, you know, another one. Vita Green, I mean, you see their trucks all over.
Yep.
You know, there's some very large sponsors to this, but I think that the other piece of it too that's so important is it's the small donors as well, right? It's the people that throw $5 in when you're standing outside of Hooked on Toys or wherever you might be. All that stuff adds up and really creates a great toy drive for kids.
It had a kind of a soft opening on Saturday. I mean, we didn't really promote the heck out of it, but it happened anyway. Then I had a chance to talk to Mike and to Nikki on Saturday afternoon, and they were like, they couldn't believe all the toys that they got already without really telling anybody we're doing it.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. You know, technically we did a soft opening like you said, but it really starts on Friday, and we have already been given so much support this year for our 2020 toy drive that it's just been amazing.
Are there any specific challenges this year because we're dealing with the COVID pandemic? How do we work around that?
Yeah, so there's definitely going to be challenges for us that we foresee this year. You know, last year we had about 1,200, a little over 1,200 children that we provided for. We believe that this year it's going to be, just from our first estimates from the organizations that we provide toys to, that we're going to be looking in 1,500 kids this year.
That's a lot of kids.
It's a lot of kids, and you know, it's really great that we're able to hopefully provide Christmas for all of them this year. At the same time, you know, it's kind of a sad thing that we're providing Christmas for 1,500 kids too. You know.
Yeah.
You don't think about Wenatchee as 1,500 children needing help, right? But we have that here.
We have that here, and that problem is not going away. In fact, if anything, it's even more acute. Mm-hmm. Talking to Mike, your coworker Mike, and talking to Nikki on Saturday, they said the same issues that they're having. They're saying the same thing this year they've had in the last couple of years. It's not so much an issue, but the hardest age group to buy for are the young teenagers.
Yeah.
The 12, the 13, the 14-year-olds, because they're at that certain age where they're very specific to what they want. And she said that's always the challenge, to get toys for kids that age group, young teens.
It's definitely a challenge, you know. And Nikki's my wife, by the way, and so I get to hear about the challenges every single night.
Sure.
And yeah, it's definitely something that continues to grow. This year we have more teenagers than what we've ever had in the past. And you know, the thing about it is we try to provide Christmas up to 17 years old. And so that number gets pretty big.
Sizable. And what I did, and this is just a recommendation for our viewers, those kids at that age group that Kirk was just talking about, they like to buy their own thing. They like to do their own shopping and pick up specifically what they want. So what I've been doing is I buy the card off the tree. It's just so much easier. Here's money, go buy what you want.
Absolutely. And you know, we have several drop locations that we have on our website at lstoydrive.org. And it can tell you places that you can drop toys off, or recommended shopping lists for the kids. And so that's a great resource as well.
And it should be pointed out that, yeah, the cards are a great idea because the kids can buy whatever they want. But on the other hand, they want something under the tree on Christmas morning, as opposed to, oh, it's a gift card. And then if you go out a couple of days later with your gift card after Christmas, a lot of the shelves have been stripped pretty bare, and it cuts down on the choices. So get a gift that's appropriate if you can.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And we have giving trees around town too that you can grab a tag off of. We've got one at Hooked on Toys, both Les Schwab's, several of them throughout town.
Drop-off locations for you toy folks, and this starts today. Started yesterday, Monday the 23rd. As Kurt mentioned, both Les Schwab, Sangster Motors, here at the NCW Life channel if you want to come by. Now our office is technically closed, but just ring the doorbell and we'll take your gift. Community Glass, Appalachia, Walmart, the optometry department there, Gisa Credit Union, Hooked on Toys, as you mentioned, both Works locations, Country 104.7 KKRV, up at the Highlander, Encouraging Words on South Wenatchee Avenue, Bonaventure, and the YMCA. Those are all drop-off locations.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
And then we all get together and we sort them all out in Santa's workshop to make it age and sex appropriate, which is actually kind of fun, isn't it?
Yeah, you know, it's definitely fun. I mean, you get to see all the toys, and believe me, by Christmas time, there's a lot of toys and gifts there, and just to see what has been accomplished because of the giving spirit of people in our community. It's definitely been fantastic. And you know, you mentioned Santa's Workshop. You know, we take volunteers. You can sign up online on our website and become a part of it, right? I mean, you can volunteer your time, and it's a great opportunity.
The more the merrier, and believe me, with all the toys they're expecting this year, we need hands to help sort out the toys. It's fun. It's kind of a social event. It's a good time, and I highly recommend that you sign up and give us a couple of hours. We'll take, again, just go to the website and you'll find it there. Also, there's a Facebook page, which keeps you up to date. And on Saturday, I will be down at Hooked on Toys, broadcasting live here at the NCW Life channel from 10 to 11. We've been doing this for years. Eric is taking some well-deserved time off, spending some time with his dad, so I get to do the honors of hanging around with Brent and you guys at Hooked on Toys, and I'm looking forward to it. That'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, we're definitely looking forward to it too. You know, it's always fun when we get a group of us out there, and while we're trying to get toys and donations and all that stuff, we still have a really, really good time and a lot of fun while we're doing it.
It is a good time. And here's an interesting question. Again, we're talking to Kirk Moser, the regional manager of the local Schwab's here in North Central Washington. How does the distribution of the toys work? Because there's people out there who say, you know, I either lost my job because of COVID or I cut way so down on my hours. I'm going to need help this year, and I've never needed help before. Yeah. I would like to have some of my kids have toys under the tree that I can't afford. How does one go about getting the toys for the kids who need them and want them?
Well, so we distribute through different organizations. CASA is one of the organizations that we deal with. Serve Wenatchee. There's a few local churches that we deal with. And then, you know, we have Cashmere Cares, Sage. So we're distributing toys through organizations that are really good at getting the toys where they need to go.
And again, as Kirk mentioned, they had a soft opening over the weekend, which wasn't so soft after all because it was a huge success. They're going to start the day after Thanksgiving, Black Friday. I'll be there on Saturday. And basically it goes right through the holiday season, right up until, when's the cutoff date so we can get those toys out to the kids before Christmas?
We're going to take them right up to Christmas.
Right up to Christmas.
Absolutely.
So there you go. And if you have any questions at all, again, go to the Facebook page or go to the website. It's just super easy. Just Google Les Schwab Community Toy Drive, and it's going to pop right up, and it's down the road we go. We don't really have a goal. Our goal each year is to get kids smiling and happy on Christmas.
Yeah. You know, and we do have a goal. Our goal is to make sure that every child that needs help and needs a toy for Christmas gets Christmas. That's our goal. You know, we want to make sure that nobody goes without.
Every kid should have a bunch of toys and presents underneath that tree when it comes time to opening them on the 24th and the 25th, because you can't buy that joy that the kids get, that they got the fire truck that they wanted or the bike that they wanted and that kind of stuff. I don't know how many bikes we've been giving away, but there's a lot of them.
Yeah, gosh, last year we did 126 bikes. This year we've got about the same number of bikes. You know, we mentioned sponsors, Velo. They help provide a helmet for every bicycle that we build, just as their donation and their sponsorship. And so the bikes has been a really neat deal, and we all get together on December 6th this year at Sangster Motors, and we assemble the bicycles that we get. You know, they all come in boxes, and so they're gracious enough to open their service department on Sunday, and we go down there and have a really great time assembling bikes.
Plus a little pizza and some soft drinks. You know, you gotta fuel up to do that because you don't want to get a bike in a box.
No.
You know? Nobody wants that. You want to hop on the bike and you want to go. Kirk, anything else while I have you here? Kirk Moser from the Les Schwab Community Toy Drive. It's good to see you. Anything else on your mind while I have you here?
You know, I guess the last thing I want to say is just thank you to everybody that has participated in our board, our nonprofit board. They spend a lot of time making sure that we can pull this off every single year, and so that's been it's been fantastic to have that. You know, the last thing I guess I would leave with this time this year is, you know, it's going to be a tough year, and we're concerned. You know, we're concerned that we're able to provide Christmas for everybody. So all I would ask is if you have an opportunity to donate some toys, we take cash donations. However, this year's going to be a really a year that we truly needed, I think.
One last question for Kirk Moser, then I'm going to cut him loose. He's a busy guy. Who wraps all these things?
So the organizations, you know,
okay.
You know, like Serve Wenatchee.
CASA or Serve Wenatchee, they get the toys, but it's up to them to wrap it.
Yeah, yeah. So Serve Wenatchee has a really great deal where you walk in the door and you get to build crafts and have cookies, the parents do. And then they get to go through a toy room and pick out the toys for their children. And then there's a wrapping station on the other side. And then when they come out and go up the stairs to exit the building, there's a truck full of hams there for them.
Oh, wow.
So, I mean, it's just things like that. You know, organizations do it differently, but that's definitely one of the ones that sticks with us.
And again, we can't stress this enough. Every kid, I don't care how old they are, should have toys under the tree for Christmas. Toys, not socks. Oh, great. Another pair of socks. Merry Christmas to me, right? I will see you Saturday at Hooked on Toys at 10 o'clock, all right?
We look forward to it. Thank you.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to be there with bells on. Thank you very much, Eric, for going hunting, because I can't wait to get involved in this. You're watching Wake Up in Wenatchee Valley. We'll be right back.
From the ocean to the mountains to the forest in between, vacation time can be a fun time. But not if your car breaks down. Call Global Car Care today. Have a service approved over $150 on your vehicle, and Global Car Care will donate an oil change service to one of our local heroes at Confluence Health. Look for more incentives online. Global Car Care cares about their community.
How do you know when it's time to go to Boswell's Furniture? When you know the look you love, the colors you want, but need a little design help to bring it all together. With Boswell's complimentary design service, Glenn, Buffy, and Teresa guide you until your vision becomes reality. More styles, more fabrics, and more choices of quality home furnishings fill Boswell's expansive 2-story showroom, so you can see it and feel it before you buy. Come into Boswell's and explore the endless possibilities of home furnishings. Boswell's on Easy Street. It's closer than you think.
So Pam, how's your mom doing?
She's okay. She's struggling. She'd like to stay in her house, and it's getting harder for her to do the daily chores.
What kinds of problems is she having?
Just basic house cleaning, you know, taking care of her house, yard work, taking care of her medicine.
Mm-hmm. It does sound exhausting.
It is very exhausting, and I always worry about her.
Aging in Adult Care can assist you or your loved one to remain comfortably and safely in their own home. Contact them today to start the conversation.
I had to pack up all my things. I had to leave my home. And I never knew where I was going next. It felt like I never even had a say. But then you came along.
Change a child's story. There's a child in foster care waiting for a volunteer like you.
And welcome back to Wake Up in Wenatchee Valley on this Tuesday, the 24th day of November 2020. I am Dan Kuntz. As you can see, the low clouds and the fog are pretty, well, they're persisting. They seem to like to hang around here more often than we'd like them to have. But we're in for some sunshine. Once we get through the next 24 hours or so from the National Weather Service, here's your forecast, and it looks like this. Cloudy skies today. Now the snow level is going to hover right around 2,800 feet, which for us is, there's pockets in our area, right? But here's the deal. We are expecting rain. It's going to be between essentially 4 o'clock this afternoon till around 10 o'clock tonight. This is when the system comes through. Again, 4 o'clock to 10 o'clock. And during that time, the snow level is going to be about 2,800 feet. The snow level is going to go down to 1,600 feet. But by that time, the system will have passed through us, so we're expecting, at least in the valley anyway, nothing but rain. And again, most of it between 4 and 10. We'll top off at about 41, 42 degrees. Certainly quite a bit of cloud cover. We get 38, by the way, on Monday. Rain is done in the overnight hours. We'll start out with clouds, but by the time you wake up Wednesday morning, we're going to have some sunshine. So 33 for the overnight low. Partly cloudy Wednesday. No rain, no wind. Very pleasant, very quiet for Thanksgiving Eve, if you will, and a high of 44, 30 for the overnight low on Wednesday night. For Thanksgiving Day, quite a bit of sunshine and a high of 47, and we're looking pretty good. Friday, partly cloudy, 44. Saturday, sunshine for the most part, a high of 46, so we can work off those extra calories by going out and enjoying some nice late fall weather. Now, real quickly on the mountain passes, they issued a winter weather advisory. It starts at 4 o'clock this afternoon to 10 o'clock in the morning on Wednesday. The magic number, 3,000 feet. Above 3,000 feet, we're talking snow level, we're talking snowfall of about 6 to 13 inches. So as the system comes through, it's going to bring us rain here to the valley floor tonight and into the early hours of Wednesday. That's going to come down in the form of snow up in the Cascades, especially Stevens Pass. Blue at 990, a little bit of snow here and there, certainly maybe some plowable snow, but the brunt of the snow will come down on Stevens Pass tomorrow. That's it. Have yourself a great Tuesday. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.